Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another interview. Today I have Manu. Manu, say hi.
Hello.
Manu just beat my ass, so we're gonna talk about his team and why I think it's one of the best in the whole entire league this season. We'll start it off with Dragapult. I wanted Dragapult like before the order got even announced, but when I saw the order and you said you were picking Dragapult immediately, because you're the first pick, so yeah, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
But tell me why
Yeah, I
you
didn't
love
really know
Dragapult.
what.
Tell me why you
Well,
like
I only
Dragapult.
really picked it because Dragapult. It's my I love how it looks. It's like my favorite of the new mons. And when I saw I got first pick, I hadn't really looked at anything I wanted yet, but I knew Dragapult was like decent and competitive, and I figured why not.
Fucking, you picked this fucker up because he looked nice.
Yeah, I love how it looks, but like it's good and competitive too. So I think I asked Ziad and Brown, is it a good first pick? And they said, yeah, it probably is. And then I okay.
I love that. Dragapult is so good just because this meta base 100 is really fast. So having a
Yeah.
Pokemon with 100 base 142 speed, it's pretty good. You outspeed like a lot of just regular Scarfers
Yeah,
too.
that too.
And spec set are very nasty. They're very nasty sets
It's
if
one of
you're
those
on
really fast
specs.
ones, like you and Zera.
Mhm.
Like they're just like nice because they always, or like most of the time, can run an offensive nature. Like my Dragapult was adamant against you. I'm pretty sure.
Mhm. Yeah. And it can do D dance. It doesn't have to stick with just being
Exactly.
special. It's like really good. The only and you can't even be worried about pursuit anymore. Pursuit's gone. So you
Yeah,
don't.
and I think that like the infiltrator ability is actually really nice as well because I was expecting like versus you, maybe you'd bring like a Sub Zerora and then I could just like break through it.
That's 100% why I didn't bring sub. Is
Yeah.
just because this man could just sit there and go through it. Also, Dragon
Exactly.
Darts. Dragon Darts is also really good.
Yeah, I love that move.
It does whatever it wants to do, pretty much. Base
If only
100.
Lucario wasn't a steel type.
Fuck you. But yeah, I like it. It does a lot, and it also is a really good support, even though you're not gonna really need support with
I mean, it
Dragapult.
gets Will-O-Wisp and stuff, which
It
is nice, but
mm-hmm. It gets
I don't know.
support if you need it.
It's kind of a waste running Willow on it, in my opinion, unless it's like specifically to check something that will otherwise destroy your team or something. But
Yeah, but just having the versatility with the smile is good, honestly.
yeah, for sure.
Next up, I believe you picked up was it Vaporeon or Pharaoh? It
um,
was one of those two.
mm, I'm pretty sure it was Vaporeon and then Pharaoh, but like I have a wheel pick, so it's basically on the same turn.
Yeah, I could check right here. You went with your boy Pharaoh. Pharaoh's picked
Uh,
up next. I like
well,
Pharaoh.
I mean, um, I always like when I pick a dragon type first. I usually like want a good steel type to go with it because the two types generally like synergize really well. And I was looking at things because Dragapult is such a weird typing, so it's like not weak to fighting and stuff, which is nice, but it's weak to another bunch of things that most dragons aren't weak to. Like what's the what is it even weak to Dragapult?
He's
Ice,
he
Ghost, Dark.
yeah, dark. Dark
I
is
don't know.
the
And
big
like
one for a
most
lot.
and the problem with most of the steel types that are still in the draft is that they're neutral to fairy because they're like part dark or something. And I was looking at decent steel types that aren't actually weak to fairy, and there honestly weren't that much. So I just decided I'd get Pharaoh while it's still there. Plus, within Power Gun, it's probably going to be way better than it was before.
The loss of hidden power buffed Pharaoh a lot.
Yeah,
Cause
I haven't used it yet, but
not a lot of like Pokemon get little fire type moves when they're not stab. There's not too
yeah,
many like flamethrowers out there, unless you're a fire type.
there are a bunch of mons that got Mystical Fire and Blaze Kick though. But like, I
hmm
don't know.
Mystical fire, you already picked one of them up, and then like the others like Clefable and all that stuff. But you don't really have
Yeah.
to worry about that with Dragapult and stuff like that. Even though they're fairy,
Mhm.
the amount of damage Dragapult can just do to any fairy type this game, except Clefable, is fucking maddening. Because there's not a lot of good bulky fairies. They're mainly
Yeah.
offensive just generation.
That's true. Yeah.
Hmm. But Pharaoh is really good for hazards too. He's like the premier hazard setter.
Yeah. I just wish he got rapid spin, but
Let alone no rapid spin on Pharaoh. But in all honesty, he doesn't need it, even though it'd be super nice for it.
yeah, really doesn't like the leech seed, hazards, power whip, or gyro ball or something. All those moves are great.
Hmm. The only problem with Pharaoh is like it can suffer from like only having four moves. Like if it could run five, it would
Yeah,
be
it would be way
really
better.
good. It would be so much better. But like if you just prep good with it, it can do a lot too. I like
Yeah, I
Pharaoh
don't.
a lot.
I haven't used it ever before in drafts. Maybe like in the OU once, but that was ages ago.
Yeah.
So it's kind of new to me, but I'm looking forward to using it for sure.
Hmm. And next up was Vaporeon. Why do you love Vaporeon so much? You draft it like every single time, don't you?
The first time I actually drafted Vaporeon was the first season I joined this league, and like I don't know, I just really like loved using it. Like it's a mon that I worked really well with, like Wish, Protect, Toxic, Heal Bell, Scald, Roar, all those things that I usually run. And like I've run Synchronize before to beat a Toxapex and it actually worked, but that wasn't in this league though. um, and yeah, I don't know, I've really grown to love it. And like I usually like want a good cleric with like Wish and Heal Bell and all that, and Vaporeon just fits that role. Plus water types are always nice when they're bulky, and yeah, that's why I picked Fake
Hmm.
again.
It's mainly only for support, but it's just really good at support.
It really is.
The
I've run
H.
like offensive vape a few times as well, but
Oh
like
yeah, he still has a good
the bulky
special
option
attack.
is just yeah.
Scalds do a lot if you just like
Hmm.
ignore the thing. Also, burning's always a bitch and a half to deal with, but
For sure, for sure.
mhm. Just this massive HP stat, let alone, is why this thing is so freaking good. It's like
Dude, those wishes.
it just wishes and then protects and then toxics. That's all it needs to do. And there's not.
Yeah, and like when you like wish and you switch in another mon, it usually just goes back to full because the wishers are just so fat. Like that happened with Vikavolt, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Vigavolt I think was at like fucking 38, and he wished past it with
Yeah.
100. Yeah, he's really good. And with the
Ah,
core that you got so far, it really helps the core too.
for sure.
Because Dragapult gets no recovery and it's a little frail. So the
Hmm.
fat wishes will just get it all the way up, pretty much.
Yeah, the problem is though that Dragon Ball is really hard to like just
Wish
switch
pass.
in on
Yeah.
something because it's a little frail and you usually don't want it to get lowered before even firing off an attack.
Mhm.
But yeah,
100%. Also works well with Pharaoh too. If you
yeah, for sure.
if you
I love my water grass core.
you like that? So that's
Yeah,
why
I
you
love it.
fucking went with Incineroar next?
Yeah, that was also like I was looking at decent fire types, and most of the good ones were already gone.
Yeah, there's no
And
fire types. No fire
yeah, and
types.
I asked a few people like Ziad and I'm pretty sure some other people if Incineroar would be decent enough because it was tier 2, and last time it was always like tier 3 or tier 4 or some shit. So I
Mhm.
figured, why is it so high now? Like, what changed it? And apparently, it got parting shot and a bunch of other shit. So turns out it was pretty good, and so far I've actually enjoyed using it. So it's
It's
pretty
also
decent.
it's also surprisingly bulky too.
Yeah, like, especially with intimidate. Like I'm pretty sure I've brought it like physically defensive against you and against Ziad as well. So
Yeah, he could be a bit of a tank, and he does a lot of damage too.
yeah, if you ban that shit.
What is it, like 110 attack, which is not bad at all with a band in this
Yeah, and
gen.
then Flare Blitz knockoff. I don't know. Does this get Earthquake? Probably does.
I don't know, maybe.
I haven't really looked at it yet. But parting shot is just so nice to have. Like it's just nice for pivoting, and like it makes mons weaker as well, so it's just easy to switch into. Like
Hmm.
your Dalmise was at -2 attack at one point.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. That was really fun. Yeah, it does what it needs to do. It's not gonna
Yeah,
ever like sweep a team, but it does what it needs to do. And I think it's really
yeah,
hard to stop what it wants to do.
yeah. The only problem with it I've noticed is that like rocks really hurt it.
Mhm.
Like the moment you got rocks up, Incineroar became way less valuable because it was just harder to work with.
Yeah, he gets no recovery
Hmm.
moves, which vape helps, but you can't always rely on vape to heal your
Hmm.
entire team. Even though you kind of did against me, but that's okay.
I mean, I did have like recovery on 3 of my mons.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That is very, very sadly true.
Who
Uh,
are you?
so next up, you picked up Hatterena. A lot of people wanted Hatterena. You got a
Yeah,
lot of
and I
people on
didn't.
this one.
I just like didn't know what to pick, and I was looking at fairies that were left, and most of them were also like a recurring theme shit. And I didn't know anything about Hadreen, but I really didn't want it because of its low speed stat, because it looks so shit. So I
Yeah,
just asked like Ziad again. Ziad was my go-to guy, and he said like this thing should have been tier 2. It's actually really good. Like it sweeps on a trick room, it gets draining kiss, calm mind, psychic, stored power, all that shit.
Magic Bounce is a big thing too.
Yeah,
Cause
that's like because I don't have that much good hazard removal options, but Magic Bounce really helps.
yeah, that's why I was like when my battle with you, I got rocked so late because I was afraid of getting them fucking bounced.
Yeah, I know. And when you were like Clefable versus Incineroar, I really wanted to like switch out into Hatterene, but like that was actually my check tier Clefable too with the Hatterene. And
Mhm.
but I just wanted to Toxic because I knew you were gonna be unaware.
Yeah. Yeah.
I figured, yeah, let's just Toxic it so this thing is basically useless.
Mhm. Yeah, 100%. Thank you, Manu. But
Yeah,
a big problem was like these big special attackers with like bulky enough stats is that they hate toxic. But Magic
yeah,
Bounce
they
just
do.
completely negates that unless they're T spikes on the ground,
Exactly.
which is
Um,
always great.
for sure. I like how it gets like mystical fire as well because
Yeah.
usually the psychic dimes don't really get fire coverage, but this one does, so that's cool.
Yeah. Also, Draining Kiss is like I think it's a little underrated for this Pokemon because it does so much damage because of its special attack.
Yeah, I
So
know.
you're getting a lot of HP back, almost it's like 4 times resisted. But
Yeah, it gets like it always drains 70%, 75% of the health instead of 50. So that's like it already gets a lot of HP, and when you get a few calm mines up, draining because it's gonna hit hard anyway. So
hmm
it's nice because it doesn't have recovery, so that way you still get HP back.
yeah, and just alone its fucking special attack stat is just too too good. It's too good.
Yeah, it's really high.
And the only problem it has is its HP and its speed. But its speed can be
Yeah,
negated if you just run Trick Room, if you really
yeah,
want
that's what
to.
happened week 1.
Yeah, poor side.
Oh yeah.
Next up, you got let me see here. You got Ice Cube. I love Ice Cube.
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube. I'm
Yeah,
guessing this was like a
I love it.
throwaway pick.
Yeah, I don't. I just like same as Dragon Ball. I love that man. Look at its fucking Ice Cube
I
face.
love
It's
it. I
fucking.
love it too.
And
Um,
like
the only
the
thing with
only thing I don't like about it though is its ability
Ice
because it's
Face
like
is
you
good.
have to get hit to like actually activate it. So it's like way worse than Unburden.
Mhm. And it doesn't help against special attackers. It's only physical.
Yeah. So like when you're send out Ice Cube, someone will probably just switch into like a special one, and when you belly drum, you're still at only 75 speed. So you could use a Salag Berry, I guess, but then you're still really low HP. You're not gonna hit hard enough to like KO the thing because you only have like 85 attacks. So it's gonna take like a really good situation for it to actually work. But I just wanted it because I love it.
Mhm. I mean, it's good for Darum. Hint, hint. Um,
Oh yeah.
oh. But the only problem with Ice Cube, I mean, there's a lot of problems, but a big problem with Ice Cube is that it's so predictable. It can't.
Sorry.
It has no problem. It has like no versatility. Like you have to run
Yeah.
belly drum with this thing.
Yeah, it's otherwise it's just not gonna work. But its move pool isn't even that great either, so it's just
Yeah,
like meh.
you bring it to something like to a team that dies to ice, and that's all it does.
Yeah, I was gonna bring it versus Ziad at first, but then I actually just said nah.
Well, it didn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
But Ice Cube also rocks really hurt the thing.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the problems with my team that all of my mons aren't like they don't really appreciate rocks all that much.
Yeah.
Aside from like Pharaoh, Claydol, and Terrakion, but
And
that's
and
literally it.
and so far in your draft, you haven't picked up, I don't think, any hazard
No,
removers.
that was I was just picking mons that I liked, and I done after I picked Ice Cube and Vikavolt, I realized shit, I don't have hazard removal yet.
And then you went fucking crazy with them. You picked up
Yeah,
does Unfezzing get defog? It's gotta.
it does. It
Yes,
does.
you picked
I
up.
just like the next two picks were like Skunt and Claydol, then on Pheasant and Terrakion was last.
Yeah. Oh no. Next up with Vikavolt. This is when you actually got Vikavolt.
Yeah, I know. Um, yeah. What to say? About, I wanted a web setter because my team was actually pretty slow aside from Dragapult, if
Mhm.
you noticed. Um, and also wanted an electric type that wasn't really weak to ground because I didn't have a ground resist yet. And that's where Vikavolt popped up because it gets levitate. And there's also a bug type, which is nice. Bug stab is always nice to have around in draft league, I think, because there's a lot of things that are actually 4 times weak to it.
Yeah. Also Vikavolt.
um,
Did
yeah.
not know, but can be really bulky.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I was just like looking at things that don't die to zero. When I put like the Vikavolt in the calc, I noticed there was a defensive set and it actually tanked everything. So
Yeah. Watch out, everybody. This fucking thing can be bold and it gives zero fucks about your physical attackers.
I honestly thought it was going to be way worse than it actually is.
Yeah, it
It's a
seems
good
to be
pick,
like
though.
a good hidden gem so far in the league,
Yeah,
even
for sure.
with webs. But Vikavolt also gets Roost, which is also really good for it if you're
Yeah, I
running
didn't
like
even
bulky
know that
sets.
either. I just found out when I was prepping against you that it gets boost.
Wow, thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't like aside from Vaporeon, I have not used a single mon ever before in draft league. Oh, and Terrakion as well, but only like once.
Mhm. But
So
Vic.
everything is kind of new to me at the moment.
Mhm. And with Hatterena and Vikavolt, you have to run AV if someone faces you, because those two special attackers and Dragapult specs, it's just too much for some walls even to
Yeah, I
really.
noticed that like you had like two AV mons and Zia had like
Yeah, I
two
had.
AV mons.
Yeah, you need AV against your team with the mons that you picked. Fucking AV Delmise.
Honestly, my special attacking presence isn't even that big. It's just like those three mons that hit incredibly hard.
Yeah. 100%. And you already know that you're
Yeah,
bringing at least two of them each week, which is enough.
probably.
But Vikavolt is just great for webs and stuff like that too. It's
Yeah,
always nice.
very.
Next up, oh sorry, was Skunk Tank. This is your first hazard removal. Congrats, Defog
Yeah.
Skunk Tank.
Fun fact: Poison type is my favorite type out of all of them, and I usually draft like two or three every draft I'm in. But this time I only stuck with one. I haven't used Skuntank before, and I actually kind of like its design. Plus, it gets hazard removal. It gets a decent move pool, so I
It gets
figured I would try it out.
this thing gets like fucking flamethrower. how
Yeah.
how does it get flamethrower? I don't know, but it gets it.
The only problem is that its special attack stat is a bit low, so you can only really run it when like the mon you're trying to hit has a low SPDF stat, but
Yeah,
it can be useful.
but it's like good for like just like switch-ins too for like anyone who wants to switch in that's a steel type against you.
Yeah, for sure. And it only gets one weakness in ground, which at this point wasn't really patched that well yet, but I think I did a decent job at patching it up later.
Yeah, later in the draft you're probably like, I need something for ground.
Yeah, the first 6 picks were just me picking things, and then I actually noticed, oh shit, I need to actually get things I need as well.
But you still stuck with the core too. Like it never like these picks that you picked up after your ground weakness that you saw like still helped your core
Yeah,
very
the,
well.
the thing I tried to do was just get one of every type, which I succeeded in. I'm pretty sure I don't have a single dupe type, or maybe like one. Yeah, Claydol, Whip Psychic. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Mhm. Yeah, you really don't.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, that's what I always try to do in my drafts, and I succeeded this time.
Yeah. But Skunk Tank is mainly here for defog, right? Like let's be honest
Mostly, yeah. The
here.
only reason I brought it against Zed was to have a defog in the back in case it was necessary, but his team was like decent. Like Skuntank didn't do terrible against it, so I just figured why not.
Yeah.
Because like when I was watching your video, I saw how Ziyad like he was really excited about his whips, so I figured he'd try to bring them week one, which is why I brought Skuntank.
Oh, poor Jihad. We love you, buddy.
Yeah.
Next up, Astra Skunk Tank was Claydol, and this is another hazard removal, but also for ground too. So it helped you both out
Yeah.
there.
Still needed a ground type, still needed more ground weakness resists, still needed a spinner, so figured Claydol.
Mhm.
I don't really like it. I think it's like way too passive, but
I don't think anyone
could be
likes
useful,
Claydol.
I guess. Maybe like once or twice. But I don't think I'm gonna bring it very often.
Fucking bring a cosmic
Probably
power
my least
toxic
favorite
set.
mod on my team.
You know,
Cosmic
maybe
Power?
yeah, cosmic power, toxic protect, and I don't know. Does it get recover? If you want to do that. It
The
does.
only like way that could work is with sub and Cosmic Power, but then you can't hit enough things.
Yep, 100%. So you're not
Yeah.
doing that. This thing's fucking just a spinner.
Probably not, no.
Just a
Yeah.
spinner.
In
But
case
with
I need it. Or like when there's a scary electric type or some shit.
with the buff with rapid spin, Claydol actually
Yeah.
has a pretty decent speed tier after one.
Yeah, bro, I was so surprised when Rapid Spin did like fucking 15%. I
Yeah,
was expecting it to do like 3%. I'm like, wait, what? What happened?
yeah, base 50. It's not a bad move anymore.
Yeah,
It's
it's not
really
that
good.
bad.
Oh fuck off my phone. Um, yeah. Claydol's cool, but it was just there to help fill in a hole, not something
Yeah.
that you wanted, which is what you're gonna have to do.
I mean, there weren't much good ground types left either, so I just figured why not.
Mhm. Next up, Terrakion, the tier 1 man
Yeah.
that no one picked.
I was gonna pick that thing since like round five, but like I was looking at everyone's and like everyone already had a tier one, and, aside from like Yod and a few others, and I asked them like, "Do you want Terrakion?" And they said no. So I figured I'd just wait until the end with it.
Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah,
Terrakion is scary when you
and
don't
like
prep for it, aka Zod. Um,
Terrakion is really fucking good.
Choice
It's
scarf
always
is
like,
just all it needs, really. Just run choice
yeah,
scarf.
Scarf, Life Orb, Ban, because like the thing is there aren't much fast mons left, so usually you can just run Life Orb now. Which I did that week one. Because like the things that need start speed it probably will, and like if there's two faster mons than it, then oh well,
Mhm.
that's not really a problem anymore in my opinion. Because, like it already hits so hard because it has a good attack stat, speed is decent, typing is decent, so like cool man.
Fighting step is also very nice.
Yeah,
It's
I
good.
got swept. I got swept by one once. It wasn't fun.
Dude, I got swept by Zero Aura in like a side league, and that's why I fucking picked it up. don't don't get swept by the mon that you have. There you go.
I
Uh,
haven't really had much trouble dealing with Zorora before, but I know it's like a hard one to
yeah,
beat
Terrakion's hard too if you don't have the
for
right
sure.
build. Does Terrakion get rocks? No, right?
It does
It
actually.
does. It
I had it
does.
against Ziad, but I never used it.
It does get rocks. So yeah, you can
Yeah,
get another little rocker that
I only had Pharaoh I think before, so it
I think
gets me two
Claydol.
rockers. Oh yeah,
I think
Claydol as well.
yeah.
Yeah, right. But Claydol is good.
Fuck Claydol.
Fuck Claydol,
Okay, the last mon you're hyping up this last pick.
dude.
You said no one's gonna
Yeah,
pick it, and you picked on pheasant. Why? Why?
yeah. Because
And you
I
brought it
was
against
everyone was
me.
making it.
You brought it
Yeah,
against
dude.
me.
Because like when we were tiering things, everyone was like, no, it wasn't tiering. It was deciding if we were gonna do Galar decks or national decks, and people were like, dude, if I want to use in Pheasant and Galar decks, because in national decks, no one is gonna draft it. And I was like, fuck off, no one is gonna draft on Pheasant anyway. And then I decided I wanted it anyway. But like I was looking at like flying types and maybe some good normal types that were left, and then Pheasant had both of them. and the other one was like Noctowl or some shit, but that is
Yeah,
trash.
Noctowl was still pretty bad.
Yeah, and like I looked at a pheasant, its move pool is small, but what the moves it does get are actually decent. Like I get U-turn, Brave Bird, Double Edge, Stomp, Defog, Roost, which I mean, from a low tier flying type, I think that's pretty decent.
hmm
Plus its speed stat isn't terrible, 93 or some shit, and its attack stat is actually pretty high.
Yeah, and Tailwind really helps out your team. It's
Yeah, Tailwind can be clutch as well if I decide to bring it.
100%. And the fucking hacks that this thing can do for the
Yeah,
super
super luck.
luck,
I
it's
had super luck, but I didn't get a crit.
oh no crit. Are you
I
are you
mean, its other abilities are pretty shit, so.
yeah, yeah. Are you planning to use male
What
or
did you say?
female? Are you gonna use male or female? You gotta go
Male, of
male.
course,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
like I have a team with my team nicknames, like they're all based on like weed and shit. And Pheasant is a drug dealer because he has a mask on.
The Wii team.
Yeah,
Do you like your team?
I love my team.
I
I'm really glad with how it turned out, and I don't think I'm gonna make a trade.
yeah. I like your team too. I really do.
Thank you, my friend.
And you got a if your first one you got a 6-0 and then you got a 5-0. So
Yeah,
it's doing well.
I'm still tied with Infinite, but yeah,
Damn,
I'm doing
really?
decent, I guess. Yeah, Infinite got a 5 week one, and then last week he got a crit or something or a miss. I don't really remember, and then he 6 the. I
J-
think it was Jetty. I don't really
no,
remember.
it's JP.
Oh, JP, yeah, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's not in your conference, so you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, is he not? I thought he was. He was
No,
last season.
the Chicago's are
Oh,
in the
cool.
other one.
He's not.
So right now
But
you're
I mean, there's
first.
still there's
Oh
still
my god.
Robo and shit in my conference, so that's scary.
1 second, Manu.
Oh.
Sorry about that, Manu. I'm back.
No problem.
Okay. Oh my god, 1 second. Okay, we're back.
Oh, nice, nice,
Yeah. I'm very professional.
nice. You're gonna edit it out, right?
Yeah, I could.
Okay, okay.
You want me
But I mean,
to?
I'm pretty sure we were.
Do
I
you
don't
want?
know. You can if you want.
You could do whatever you want. You,
I don't really care.
it's your video.
Uh, I'm pretty sure we were basically done anyway, right? Or did you still want to ask something?
We just like a final couple questions.
Sure.
Um, how do you feel like against like other teams? Do you feel like you're pretty good, solid?
Like just my team in general, or
Yeah, like general matchups. Do you think you're pretty good?
I don't know, I haven't really looked at any matchups yet aside from the ones I've already done. But like, I don't know. I think my team is decent enough to like have a pretty good matchup against any team I'm gonna face. Like there might be a couple of bad ones, but I don't think I'm ever gonna have like a matchup where I'm gonna be like shit. I'm gonna get destroyed.
Yeah, I think your team has a pretty good matchup, or at least decent matchups against every single team. My opinion. I feel like
I hope so.
I really do. But one last question. You do you think you're gonna like go all the way to the top with this team? To the tippy top?
I mean, um, I might be like in the top 4 or 5, maybe. I don't know. I usually am. I think I was last season anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember about season 3 though, but I would say I have a decent chance of making playoffs for sure.
I feel like you're bound to make playoffs. What the question is, are you gonna win the championship with this team? Do you feel confident in your team?
I mean, I haven't really used any of them yet, but so far it's been working out fine. So I think I should have a decent chance if I
Okay.
continue to play my games the way I have been playing them so far.
Yeah. 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 Totally. Totally. You fucking beat me. Okay. Um. All right. We're gonna end it here. Do you want to say anything, Manu, before we head out?
Yeah, peace out or something.
All right. Cool. Bye bye, everybody.